On this episode of The Lab, K-pop's learning some new CAD software, and it's about goddamn time. We're always looking for that crazy onboard shot, and I think I might have some here. We take my dirty E30 and transform it into this sweet camera car. But first, we head to Strictly Sideways to see how far we've come on the quest for that perfect onboard drift shot.
It's so delicate, we have to also hit record.
This setup right here didn't work really that well. It was just the coolest looking setup with that triangulated sort of threaded rod system, but it was a pain in the ass to set up. It was a pain in the ass to point, and man, was it just like, I don't know, it was just a pain in the ass. It was just, did I say it was a pain in the ass? This setup, although looks incredibly freaking awesome, it's not very practical. It's kind of hard to set it up. It's hard to find 3 points that are rigid enough to hold the thing. You need to use this sort of piece of wire to hold this thing from flopping around, because each one of the points of contact have 3 axes of movement. So that causes a problem. This whole setup is just overly complicated, looks cool, but we need to figure something else out. So this little camera is the Osmo Action 2. It's the camera I primarily use. It's much better than the Insta360 Go's because it has a much higher bit rate. It does way higher resolutions. It doesn't do anything stupid. It still does gain up, but it's probably got the largest optics out of all of the small form factor action cams. So I really recommend this one. It's 240 frames per second. It does have its issues. It can only record 32 gigabytes internal, but it does have another little brain here, and you can transfer files to an SD card and clear out the internal memory here when you're, you know, trying to shoot with lower form factors. This right here is the next version of the Caddy. What's cool about it is it has 2 openings for the record/power button. What this allows me to do is turn the camera 90 degrees, so I can mount this camera Caddy like this, and I can also mount that camera Caddy like this, and I won't have to worry about 16 by 9, 9 by 16 issues. I created this little sled here with 4 screws, and I also added just another point of rotation on here, so this camera can move in all axes, which is really freaking great. All I have to do is add just a pole right there, and then that pole can then connect to whatever the hell I want. But that's the idea, and it's using PETG, carbon fiber infused, and I'm using my Bambu Lab printer, the X1 Carbon, which is still the best printer I own. Man, what a workhorse that thing is an appliance. It just turns on. If you want a Bambu Lab printer and you want to support kpopRC, use my affiliate link below and get yourself one. Like, do it, man. I'm a member on a lot of 3D printing groups, and the amount of first layer issues that I see on those groups is just nutty. Get yourself a Bambu X1 Carbon. Those guys know how to make 3D printers that just freaking work. That looks sick. I like it. is a bone stock RS4 Sport 3. I don't know, there's been so many iterations of this RS4. I don't know, but it came with this super sweet Dirty 30 wide body M3 E30 BMW, which is sweet. I took off the rear for obvious reasons that you'll realize in a second. Anyway, so this is just the shelf queen. It's just been sitting on my shelf for so many years. I decided to put it to some use. So what I did was I 3D printed these little captured mounts. So these created these pockets, you know, these grooves that fit that 8mm diameter carbon rod. The inspiration for the setup for this camera car comes from, I guess, cinema rigs where they use, you know, 2 rails that bolt to the bottom of the camera and are where you would bolt accessories like follow focuses and matte boxes and whatever, you know, even like V-mount batteries. So I'm using that as sort of inspiration for this setup. I'm basically setting up 2 rails, and what that will do is hopefully distribute the weight evenly over 4 tires if I want to hang something off of these rails. It's definitely going to pitch, but with a little bit of counterweight, we might be able to actually keep the center of gravity pretty even and pretty centered, which is, I guess, what you would want. That's right, check it out. It's a Hilux. Yes, such a sick truck. Here you can see already the camera plate where the camera crane-esque rig is going to bolt to, which is pretty sweet. Boom, super tight. I also have these cross braces that will allow me to bolt cameras to the sides of these rails. And maybe, I don't know, we'll build some kind of mounts that'll bolt here and create, maybe hold larger cameras. This would be cool to mount. And having something that can handle that kind of weight would be really cool. But I'm not doing that, we're just using action cams. Anyway, so this is the caddy. This is basically the caddy. This is where everything camera related will bolt to. You can kind of see here, zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so you can see here the rails. We've got these crossbars. We've got all of these holes here that allow us to screw, you know, M3 bolts. And we've got ourselves this like plate that will actually stick out of the body that we're using. Slam. All right, so first things first. Check this out. Here it is. This is just sort of the crane attachment. This might change. I think what I want to do is I want to be able to put some kind of worm gear or something so that I can turn this and it will adjust the angle of the pole, you know, with a screw, and it'll just sort of stay there until you screw it. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what you said. Anyway, whatever. That goes here, which is pretty sweet. Then we got ourselves a large and in charge long freaking piece of carbon, you can see. And then we throw our camera right on top. Boom. There you go. Look at that. How sick is that? And obviously, you know, we can adjust. I'm starting to think, though, that I made a bit of a mistake, because now I'm kind of stuck to 15-degree increments, and that is not enough. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I got to fix that. This is not the right design. I actually had another design that might have been better. Do I have it still? Gotta find it. I had one version where, you know, I used this sort of lock nut to sort of sandwich this together to hold that, you know, pipe as tight as I could. But that's not really a great idea either. And I think the version that's there doesn't work either. I'll have to figure something else out that gives us way more angle. And I'm thinking something that screws, like some kind of big screw. I think that's what's going to have to be, you know, it's going to have to be some kind of large screw gear here that you can turn and it would adjust the angle. Although it turns, you know, left and right, we can put counterweights on the back and whatever. Yes, that's it for this part of this build. Let me know what I should paint it. I'm thinking it should be like a matte black, or like a black, you know, like camera cars are and camera trucks are. They're like this, like, you know, just that super matte, you know, dark gray, 80% gray, 90% gray, black color. I think that's what I'm gonna do with it. But let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas. We're probably gonna be testing this thing out at some point this weekend. So expect it in the next lab or the lab after. Anyway, cheers to beers, dudes. I'll see you guys on the next one.